all of this, like my story and finding my life task, started from now a year ago. It was the beginning of August in 2021, and we were a group of young people kind of gathering together and made a youth congress. There was this big tent, and one day I walked inside and someone put like many books there over the ground. And at one point I became like really attracted to one book, and I took it, like following my intuition. I took it and walked out of the tent, sat down on the grass and started to read it. And it kind of brought me on another level. It felt like a download. It was really deep, and I felt like getting information, more like remembering. And that was kind of something what I did not had experienced in this way. And the name of the book is The Emerald Tablets of Todd the Atlantean. And I was kind of a little bit surprised because I have not been really in touch with that topic a lot before. Sometime later I shared it with a friend, and she said, "Oh, you know, if you have that much resonance with this topic, maybe you should listen to Matthias De Stefano, because he's like talking a lot about this topic." And at the first moment I did not really reacted on that. And a few weeks later, when I was in silence meditating, it came up, "Okay, now you have to watch Matthias De Stefano." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that sounds serious." So I went into the internet and started searching, and I found this first video of him and just started it. And in the moment I saw him, I started crying. It was like remembering someone or something. I just recognized my emotions. Then I recognized something else really interesting, that Matthias De Stefano is working with these two numbers, especially the 11 and the 22. And this is interesting, and it touched my attention because since I'm in the beginning from my 20s, I have been seeing these numbers kind of everywhere. And then I found out that there's going to be this event in Egypt on the 22nd of February in 2022. And so I was like, I have to be there. I didn't thought about anything like what situation will we have with COVID? Will we have a new lockdown? Do I have enough money to go there? All of this, I was just like, I have to be there. I book it. So I did. And yeah, I did not really informed myself what is going on there and what is going to happen really. And so I went it on a path with myself, like traveling at the coast of Spain, and I came in contact with these dragon energies. And like time by time I recognized that I have been doing many things in my life since 2011, which are kind of in synchronicity with the Yusoi path, with the path that Matthias De Stefano is doing. So, yeah, and then 40 days before the event, there came an email like, "Okay, we start now with the preparation for the event, and you have to be part of the lessons every day and get prepared for it." I mostly recognized the reaction of my emotions, that I had to cry really deeply because it felt like remembering something, like past lives also. They were doing like a really deep meditation where we all were following 1,000 people around the world. We're like doing this together. At one point in this meditation, I heard a really clear voice what came up inside of me, and this voice said, "And your task is it to do a reunion of Native America that they would come more into their function for the world. And this was like a moment of, it felt really powerful, but also like really, like I was, okay, what is this? And in another way, it's like bringing all the lines of my life together, because in some way it makes like completely sense that this is my life task, because since I was a child, I was always remembering these lives as a Native American, and I kind of read every book about it, and I was crying really a lot in the nights, because this history it felt always like my history, and I felt this is like the biggest topic for me in the world, what touches me the most. And when I was a child, it was my dream that I would be able to buy all the land back in the USA, to give them back. And at one point, I recognized, getting older, that this is not possible because the country is too big, and that was like a really disappointing moment in my life. So I have been really connected with this, like my whole life. And so it really makes sense that something like this comes up. Oh, yeah, hi. Oh, we are getting company here. And I feel like this is really special. There's someone coming to serve this process. Thank you for being here. Wow, this is a great surprise. And it gives me kind of a really good feeling, getting this support and like being on this path. Wow. We are kind of in the forest and the cat shows up. And this is really funny because Matthias de Stefano is saying that like cats are coming for protection, and they keep on showing up in his videos. And also in Egypt, like we had this moments where cats were showing up. So, I'm not sure if I can continue like this. Schnuffel, willst du wieder runter oder magst du hier bleiben? Thank you for coming by, Casimir. The second part, what came up in this meditation, was that I have to share this task with the people in Egypt I will meet there. I didn't knew them yet. And then something interesting started, because I had kind of a really strong emotional process, because there were coming up like old remindings from past lives, where I felt like I was killed for stepping out with this kind of spiritual frequency. So in these weeks before the event in Egypt, I had this really strong emotional feelings, and was trying to handle them. And it felt like remembering situations like when witches were burned and something like this. So I went to Egypt with this knowing that I have to share that and with all of these emotions. And this experience in Egypt was like coming together with your family. I saw people at the airplane and I just recognized them. It was like a family meeting. And I haven't seen any of these persons. They were coming from around the world, like thousands of people coming together and doing this service, because we did an appointment 12,000 years ago that we would come back together and do the service and restart this culture, these old cultures, and come together with our abilities. So I was experiencing this event and it was more than life-changing. And at the third day, I woke up in the morning and this voice came again and she said, "Today is the day where you have to share it with your group." And I was like really nervous and okay, this is the day today and I have to do that. And at this day of the event, at afternoon, Matthias wanted to start his program, and everybody was dancing, there was music, and he was not able to start the program because the energy and emotions were too intense. So he waited for a few moments, and then one song stopped, and there was a silence. And in this silence, there were a bell ringing, like ding, ding,